You're listening to Entrepreneur Encounter, the podcast where soft skills meet real talk for creative business owners who are building with purpose. I'm Dana, a Pinterest marketing strategist and agency owner helping wedding pros and creative entrepreneurs get seen without burning out.
And I'm Sarah, a business and team strategist who helps small teams and podcasters communicate clearly, lead with empathy, and grow sustainably. Together, we're unpacking the messy, meaningful side of entrepreneurship, from boundaries to burnout, leadership to listening, so you can build a business that actually fits your life.
AI is changing everything. Literally everything in our day-to-day lives, whether it's personally or professionally. And it can be an incredible thing. We are not here to tell you to avoid it. I use it on a day-to-day basis. But there is something happening underneath all of this that Sarah and I believe not enough entrepreneurs are actually talking about or really trying to think from a multiple perspectives situation. The more AI handles, the more your human skills become the thing that wins in the business, keeps the clients, and builds the reputation. Today, we're getting into why and, more importantly, what that actually means for how you run your business right now and moving forward.
And if you're a solopreneur or a small business with a small team trying to figure out where you fit in a world that's moving so fast, you want to keep on listening. Here's what we're covering today: what AI actually can and cannot do, and why that gap matters more than people realize. The specific soft skills that are becoming your most valuable business asset right now, and what this means practically day to day and for how you show up for your clients. Real quick before we dive in, we want to tell you something we're really excited about, and it's called the Spotlight Swap. And this is how it works. We collaborate with each other through a simple but powerful exchange. We would feature you in our Entrepreneur Encounter newsletter, and you feature us in yours. That's it. No big budget, no complicated partnership, just businesses helping each other get in front of new audiences. And if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, there's a form down in the show notes that you can fill out to apply. We would love to swap spotlights with you. So go check that out. Okay, so let's get into it.
All right, let's just name the reality first, because I think that some people are still in denial about it and some people are in full panic mode. If you scroll down your news, like Instagram or Facebook feed, you'll see both, I'm sure. And neither of those is actually useful in understanding what AI can and cannot do. Because AI, yes, can do a lot. It can draft, analyze, respond, organize, summarize, and generate at a speed no human can match. And we're both using it. I use it to dive into data and to help me come up with new ideas. I help it to research all these things. And I'm sure most of our listeners are using it or will be soon.
Yeah, exactly. I use AI too, to help me brainstorm ideas. The other day I asked it, what's the most commonly questions for podcast operations, so that I could come up with content, because we have the knowledge in our head. Sometimes we just need that push or that help with, okay, what is the most common questions? And sometimes that helps with our podcast episodes as well. There's a statistic. McKinsey estimates that nearly 30% of tasks in knowledge-based jobs can now be automated. There's so much automation in every job, well, probably not every job, but a lot of them. And that number is only going up. So the question isn't, will AI change your business? Because it already is. The question is, what does that leave for you?
And a reframe for that, because I think some of us, I don't, but some of us might hear that statistic and your brain immediately goes into fear, like, am I replaceable? I've seen it in a few wedding and mechanic related reels. AI cannot physically coordinate and manage your wedding and your vendor team. Can't do it. Never, probably will.
Imagine all the robots hanging out at your wedding.
what it actually means is that tasks getting automated are just largely the transactional ones, the repetitive ones, the ones that weren't your highest value work to begin with, that you were probably trying to outsource somewhere else. But even those tasks that are being outsourced need a human touch to, keep checks and balances. You just don't want it running off on its own. As much as I love watching Claude take over my screen and move the mouse for me and do these things, I'm still a human watching it, checking in from time to time to make sure I didn't just completely run off and do something off brand or who knows what weird glitch. Humans are still needed, and the skills that we possess are highly valuable right now.
Exactly. It's so weird. It's so weird to watch like the AI do its thing. It's
I
so
love
weird.
it.
If you haven't seen it, watch the movie Afraid.
You've told me that. I need to write that down. I'm gonna write it down right now.
If you're into scary movies, that's a scary movie. Uh, so what AI cannot do, it cannot replicate emotional intelligence, your trust, your judgment, that ability to sit with a client who's frustrated and actually makes them feel heard. That's my whole being, is to making sure that the clients I work with, is to make sure that they're, as cliche as it sounds, to make them feel seen and heard. And you can help them come up with ideas and ways to improve their business. Like for me, I help with operations. Yes, AI can help with automation for the operations, but I believe it still needs a human touch. Your clients still want to talk to you. So you want to be able to have that, have those conversations and have that empathy and, use your mind to help those clients.
I've had a few moments this week, actually, where clients, but also where I've guested and done workshops and podcast guest spots and things, where they were impressed with me, not because, my process was 100% smooth. I'm a solopreneur and I try to do way too many things at too many times. That's a whole nother episode. But they left these reviews, these Google reviews, basically saying, I will actually listen to what you need. I will tell you if we're not a good fit. I will tell you if Pinterest is not going to work for you. I will tell you there's other platforms that you should be, giving your time, energy, and effort into. And AI tools, yes, they can kind of do that. And they're listening to the best of their ability, but it's different when it's coming from a human to human connection.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yep, that is it. I've mentioned a few times I have a part-time job, and when people call, they're like, "Yes, I'm talking to a real human." Because yes, we have an AI automated system, especially when it's like really busy. So the AI picks up the phone, and a lot of people don't like that, but it's unfortunately it's there. It is there, and it's not going anywhere. So that's the shift that's happening right now, and for solopreneurs especially, because AI can assist with your automated tasks. Yes, like you can schedule your emails. You can there's even AI tools to help you produce your podcast episodes. And everybody has the same access to the same tools, unless you want to pay for the higher tier. But what's going to make the difference with your clients is how they feel. Are your clients feel connected to you? Can they trust you? Can they come to you with their thoughts? Are you able to have those conversations? As time goes on, yes, AI, it's not going anywhere, but you still have to use your brain in some way.
I do feel like it's important to note, like, because a lot of the AI tools are free and or affordable, everyone has access to the same tools and resources, right? So it's the soft skills that you pour into them, that you bring into your brand, that you bring into the conversations, that are going to help you stand out and make you the one that they choose. So that really hasn't shifted. the processes for the most part are the same. Typically, like using the wedding industry, who for a bride or a couple that reaches out to a vendor, the person that reaches out the fastest is usually the person that wins the lead, typically. Not always, but most of the time, because they're trying to move quick. So that's where automation and things started to really form. But couples now, the younger couples, like these non-millennials over here, they still want quick, but they want quick and personal. So they can tell when it's some generic autoresponder and they don't like it. Like, it's not gonna win them over anymore. So it's, how are you putting your soft skills into these tools and balancing both the human side and freeing up your time. So if you have these AI tools working in the background doing like other logistical things, then now your time is freed up for you to respond personally, pick up the phone and call them instead of sending an autoresponder email. Make that connection.
Yes, human connection. And I think that's, as time goes on, I feel like people are craving that more, and I see why.
Absolutely.
So soft skills can feel a little vague, right? There are 3 areas in particular that are rising to the top right now in this AI saturated world. And these aren't random. They're the things AI cannot replicate.
So the first one, which kind of ties into what I was saying a little bit, is that trust-based communication. If you are a long-time listener, communication is in the foundation of everything that we talk about. Because it's not just communicating clearly, but communicating in a way that makes someone feel safe, seen, and understood with what's really going on with them or for them, not just that surface level ask. Like, really diving deep. I don't do small talk. I don't open my emails in small talk. I dive deep and want to go like, why do you think the way that you do? I do that with my clients just because I feel like that is what's going to magnetically pull their clients to them. So AI can write a professional email, but it cannot read the energy of a client who's frustrated, but not saying it directly. You can pick up on that because you've had conversations with them one-on-one and can start to like, ooh, they added like too many exclamation points, or like whatever small things that you notice because it's coming through that communication that you've had along the way. So it takes that human attunement for it, if that makes sense. And for solopreneurs, this is exceptionally hard or big because so much of our businesses run on relationships. Honestly, even when you grow into a team, then it relies on more relationships because you have a team to communicate with and build trust with, so that they're doing their job, they're growing with you, they're your brand champions. You're not hiding behind a brand team or a customer service department. It's you when you're a solopreneur, but you still have to carry that and train and create the environment through communication for your team. And so the way you communicate is either building trust or quietly eroding it.
And the second one is emotional regulation under pressure. We've talked about like the self-awareness and the regulating your emotions and all of that. This is the ability to stay grounded when a project goes sideways, when a client pushes back, when you're exhausted and the business still needs you to show up clearly. AI it's not going to get rattled. It's not going to get upset. It's just going to take it as it is and probably just give you just a generic response, right? AI doesn't have the skin in the game. Like, it doesn't know what's going on really, and you do. Your clients are watching how you handle the difficulty, how you respond to hard conversations, how you navigate conflict, and that's what's going to build the long-term loyalty, and that's what's going to get you referrals, not some just generic response from AI.
I know I've watched entrepreneurs lose clients, not because the work was bad, just because they get defensive or they get reactive. They're not open to feedback, and they made the client feel like a problem instead of a priority. And I know there's a fine line with that within with some experiences, but that is a soft skills gap, not a technical one.
And the third one is judgment and discernment. AI is helpful for generating options. Like it can give you option one, option two. It is not good at knowing which option is right for this specific client in this specific situation, given everything you know about their business and their personality and their goals. This is the ability to look at the situation and say, here's what I actually think you should do, and here's why. That's something clients are willing to pay big bucks for. They're there, they hire you as, Pinterest marketer, an operations manager, social media manager, a blog writer, whatever it is, they hire you because you have the knowledge to be able to do said task. So you know it. You know what their, pain points are because you can get information anywhere.
There is no lack of information
no.
anywhere.
AI can't really judge. I don't think so. I mean, unless you tell me otherwise or show me otherwise, but I don't think they can judge a specific situation, especially when you're not there in front of your client.
I just, I think with solopreneurs, that does give us an advantage over larger businesses right now because we are so close to our clients. We do have contacts, we have a history with them, so we can make better judgment calls than like other bigger agencies because, we make the time. We don't just, hopefully, we're not just running things through an AI system. We're, running it through, but we're personally analyzing it and keeping that human component a part of it.
So we talked about the why and the what's. So let's get into the so what, because I think the risk is that this all sounds good in theory, and then you close, down what you're doing and nothing changes. So here's the practical shift. Stop asking yourself, how do I keep up with AI? And start asking, where am I the most irreplaceable human in my business? Because those are the places to invest your energy, your relationship touch points, your discovery calls, the moments where a client is navigating something hard and you have the chance to really show up for them.
One of the things that I've started doing in my own business is being more intentional about what I automate versus what I keep human. And I am someone who didn't really automate much to begin with. Like I used AI tools to help me crank out stuff faster. I don't really automate. So I'm kind of doing both. I'm doing what someone in a networking meeting called a controlled burn of my business to see, what I should be automating so that I can honestly show up as a better human in other areas of my business. So yes, I use AI to draft a first version of something, whether it's website copy, social media copy, even Pinterest copy. But the client facing moments, the check-in calls, those hard conversations, the staring at the data and like researching keywords on multiple different platforms, like that stays fully me or eventually someone on my team. There are no shortcuts there, and it's time consuming. And sometimes I the time blindness, I get frustrated because I'm like, why is it taking so long? Because it's important.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can use AI to and some people probably will nod their head. You can ask AI sometimes to like make you a list of keywords, but then if you actually go physically search for them on like Uber Suggest or something, not all of them are correct. So like that's where I say the human checks and balances come into play. So yes, use it as a tool to help, but you still have to check, talk to your actual clients, check in on what keywords are actually trending or topics that people actually want to hear from. You have to do that yourself, or someone on your team has to physically do it.
And I'm totally sure there is a way to automate delegation for your team. But I actually like to physically look at what's going on and assign due dates to everybody. That is my job. I actually enjoy doing that. So I think that's another thing too. I think depending on what you enjoy, you keep, just like when you hire somebody or outsource, you keep what you enjoy, and then you give the robots what you don't like to do.
So here's a question that's worth thinking about. If a client was describing why they chose you and they couldn't use anything related to your price, process, or deliverables, what do you think they would say? And it's that answer is your soft skill edge. Like, that's what's worth protecting. That's what's worth strengthening and really honing in on, and using AI tools to help communicate that in your social copy.
Yes. Here's what we want you to take away from today. AI is not your competition. The version of you who's hiding behind automation instead of leading with connection, that's competition. What are your thoughts on this? We would love to know. You can always send us a DM or email. All of the information is going to be down in our show notes. Until next time.
You can now follow us on LinkedIn at Entrepreneur Encounter.
Thanks for spending time with us today. If something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective, share it with a friend or send us a DM. We love hearing how these conversations land with you.
And if you're curious about how soft skills can support your next season of growth, we each have more resources to share.
You can find Dana on Instagram at danas.desk.nc for Pinterest strategy and intentional marketing.
And Sarah at URembert for team development, business leadership, and podcast support.
Until next time, keep leading with purpose
and growing with intention.